I wanted to take some time to confront a critique that's often used against Christians. That critique is that you're arrogant. How arrogant of you to impose your views on us. Isn't it very selfish to try to enforce other people to believe in what you believe? Can't you just leave others to believe what they want to believe? This critique towards Christians is nothing new. Yet it is a critique worth looking into. Because on the one hand, they could be right. I could be acting as self-centered in my religiosity as the Pharisees were back in Jesus' day. The type of self-centeredness that makes me say, I'm better than every single one of you. But on the other hand, real Christianity teaches the exact opposite of arrogance. It teaches its followers to be humble, and to not only love others, but to notice the evil within yourself, within myself. So with a bit of critical thinking and a theological analyzing, this critique kind of falls flat. But let's go further into it. What does arrogant actually mean? Looking at the definition of arrogance on the internet, I think the one that comes to mind for the people critiquing me is the definition of obnoxiously holding on to a sense of self-righteousness that makes you view yourself as better than anyone else. There's another definition of arrogance in which one sees oneself as superior in every single way to everybody else. But if you watch back throughout my series of Scots Wisdom, I have confessed my own evils. I've confessed, and I'll confess again, that I've lusted after women. I've lied, especially during a Christmas D&D game. And I will admit to being a bit aggressive in this series at times. Now, if I were arrogant in the proper definitions of the word, I would have upheld that sense of self-righteousness. I would have said, I'm better than you and you should be like me. In reality, I'm no better than anybody else. In fact, I view myself as the worst person, okay? If I were as arrogant as they claimed I was, I probably would have kept up that aggression. Why would I be arrogant if I apologized for being too aggressive? Why would I be aggressive if I confess the evils that I've done? That's what real Christianity teaches. It teaches you to be humble, to confess your own evils, to realize that you're in need of a savior, in need of a relationship. And knowing this helps you to realize that everybody deserves to be in that relationship too. But in order to get them to that loving relationship, you have to tell them the truth. That they too are not as good as they see themselves as. That's one of the things I'm trying to do with this series. I'm not doing this to boost my ego. If anything, I have every disadvantage from making this video. Even now, I'm threatening alienating my audience, so I do it. Because I've seen that there's plenty of evidence to believe that this is true. Now, you might still say, how dare you impose your sense of truth on me? I hate to break it to you, but truth by very definition is exclusive. If you're browsing the internet and you find somebody who thinks that a certain worldview is true, then chances are they're going to talk about that worldview on the internet. Free country, free internet. It's bound to happen. I should also note how it's usually naturalist skeptics who make this claim that Christians are arrogant, as if to say it's wrong. What do you mean by wrong? Aren't you presupposing a moral standard? Yet, according to skeptics, there will be no punishment or reward after we die. Thus, the foundations of good and evil tumble under their worldview. So, where are you getting the standard of good and evil from? The dignity of being a human being? You mean a human being who's morally flawed? A human being who can't even meet his own standard of morality? I'm not saying that skeptics are incapable of good. I'm not saying that at all. In fact, I have some friends who are skeptics and they're great. All I'm suggesting in this episode is, have you even taken time to examine Jesus' teachings? Have you actually taken time to look at the philosophy of morality like I have in my spare time? Okay, just to finish off this video, I love all of you, whether you're a believer or a skeptic, okay? Because at the end of the day, the choice to believe is not up to me. I can't control your free will. That decision's up to you. Think about this carefully. Is that something an arrogant person would say? Wait, let me guess. You're probably going to say, oh, he's dogmatically holding on to his beliefs. I could say the same about you, right? Please, carefully think about your critiques before saying anything. I encourage you to examine not just my faith, but your faith as well. Does your faith hold any water? I invite you to investigate.